This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
We all remember that one teacher who made a difference, who believed in us, challenged us, who just made learning fun. Now's your chance to say thank you in a big way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who's gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Help us say thank you to the educator shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
You need help. You really do.
I just attacked you as soon as you walked in the door.
I didn't
you have to say, could you just shut up so I could just sit
down? Put my headsets on, take a deep breath, say, how was your weekend? Oh, my goodness, Tana. How do you do it, Tana?
I'm just fed up with these local teams and the lack of effort, the mismanagement, the losing. Just
all
tired of all of it.
They're all the same bucket.
It's
Minnesota sports.
Let's push a quarterback that should be in traction. Let's play him again because he gives us the best chance to win. The one guy's got an ankle sprain. The other guy's got a torn labrum, a fractured shoulder socket, and a separated shoulder. And we're having him go out there getting sacked over and over and over again. And we got a coach over the local football team who says, yeah, we lost 41-3, but we still have a really good football team and a really good program.
Today?
Yes. Well, after the game. I told the guys in the locker room, we're still a really good program and a really good football team.
No, that was on national television, expectations of seeing, and we could talk about all this stuff, and we will.
Iowa would have been happy winning 3-0.
They would have. I mean, that's normally that was the Iowa football offense for quite a while. And they're a good football team. They have a good offensive line, but they're not Ohio State. And the Gophers put up a better fight against Ohio State. That was on national television, just an complete embarrassment. I mean, you're supposed to. We've talked about it before the season, saying forget about Ohio State, forget about Oregon. We're not in the same league as those teams, and those programs probably never will be. But this team has got to find a way of. Now they beat Nebraska, but you come back out of that nice win here on that Friday night with the expectations. And granted, they were 8-point underdogs. So Iowa was a favorite playing at home, but you expect a competitive game. And the fact that they didn't have one competitive drive on offense or defense really speaks volumes. That was holding up a mirror to your program. That's what that game did on national television. I mean, to lose like that, it's one thing to, put some points up on the board, make it interesting. I think that, the CBS certainly expected to be a competitive game. And if there could have been a way of just switching to another game, that they had to carry the whole thing, that was one to walk away from. I was stunned how one-sided that game was. But
I did.
It is what it is.
I was the one thing. There was a silver lining there. I was able to do some fall cleanup in my yard. Seriously, because I was going to watch the whole game. I'd watched Nebraska earlier with Deuce. Yeah. That was the 11 o'clock game. They beat Northwestern. Not a great game, a competitive game. It went down to the wire. And then started watching the Gophers, and it was so quick.
Yeah,
Iowa took the first drive, drove down the field and scored. Then the Gophers did nothing. Then they kicked the field goal. Then we had a interception return for a touchdown, a punt return for a touchdown. It was...
Darius Taylor was out before you knew it. I mean, everything that could have gone wrong. That was not the reason they got throttled, but like I said, that's where you hold up a mirror to your program, and you have to recover and say, oh, okay, we got to find a way of beating Michigan State now, a bad Michigan State team. Anyway, I mean, that's, and I think they lost some recruits in the process. So some guys, now, was that a coincidence, or were they decommitting? I saw like 3 different players.
Is it 3 now? Because I saw 1 for sure.
I saw a
most
couple.
of me following the game.
I don't know. I mean, that's an ebb and flow type of situation anyway.
Well, especially with nil money, one of those guys may have changed. The real reason he changed was some school might have said, "We'll give you $250,000 to come play for us." Okay, I'm in.
I've heard stories like that already.
Oh, sure.
Schools you hear.
Well, we've said some of our local basketball kids, like the kid from Cretan.
Recently,
Jiggy Traw, played for Michigan State. Why can't I think of his name?
I'm sorry, I can't think of who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Recently?
Well, yeah, he was there last year. Why can't I think of his name?
Is he still at Michigan State? I remember who you're talking about.
No, he left. He's going elsewhere, and he's getting paid like $1 million or something, or $500,000 or something like that to change. Trey Holloman. Trey Holloman left.
Now he's at NC State.
He's at NC State. NC State paid him a whole bunch of money. Yeah. And he had that in that final NCAA tournament game. He didn't play very well. He went like 0 for 11, but he'd been very good for him. He's a good player. The kid from that we had here from Cottage Grove. Why can't I think of his name? He left. He's on his third school now. He went to, I think he's with Maryland now. Same thing. They offered him $500,000. So a lot of these guys are leaving, not because they don't like the team they're currently playing with. It's just money talks, and they're being offered more money to go to other places. And so
there has to be a breaking point.
Pharrell Payne.
Yeah, there has to be a breaking point at some point where there's going to be an evening of the playing field, so to speak. And but it's college sports for the most part. The major sports are professional now, and that's what they've been trying to avoid. But I always think, well, an education's worth this, and you got a free scholarship, and you got a free education. That's worth a lot of money. If, as anybody knows, who's paid fees to have your kids go to college, right. It's a lot of money, especially now more than ever. And that's worth its weight in gold, supposedly, but not anymore. Not for the major sports, it isn't. And I don't know what I know they're getting flat fees now. The colleges are getting all this other money, but man, it's tough. I mean, the rich get richer.
Yeah, and then to me, I'm not a big fan of December 16th bowl games, but a lot of teams hang their hats on. There's like 40 bowl games. Yeah. That means 80 teams got to play them.
Right.
So one of the things that Fleck likes to talk about, 9 straight bowl games for us. Well, almost everybody gets a bowl game, and all you have to do is win. You can be 6-6, a 500 team, and play another 6-6
or have an academics
6-7
rating that's good enough that you can win 5 games.
That's exactly right. And it's I don't know. I don't know. Maybe really hardcore Gopher fans love that extra bowl game. They travel and they go and they have fun and they go to Memphis or some city somewhere and drive. But I think just the average fan just goes, what? And the game's played a month after the regular season ends. They get like an extra 10, 12 practice. It just does nothing for
whatever
them.
Blueprint Indiana has done the last couple of years. And this is they are the outliers from watching, as we've watched Big Ten football for many years, when, mentioning the powerhouse teams, the Blue Bloods, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State now being involved with it, and now Oregon involved with it. And, those are the same schools. Michigan, they're down compared to what they have been.
Right.
But now it's a basketball school that has notoriously been really average at best in football for a long time. They've had some great players, but not great teams. And all of a sudden they are competing for a national championship.
We need to get us a Mark Cuban.
You're right.
Didn't they? Wasn't Indiana in '67? They split
tied
the big.
with the Gophers.
Yeah, they covered the Gophers. So there's another. If you're trying to make comparisons with teams.
That was
and now, like you say,
and they went to the Rose Bowl because the Gophers have been there before.
Yes, correct. And now Indiana is the number 2 ranked team in the country, and some people think they're the best. And I think, I'm not the biggest college football fan in the world, and I've talked about it for many years. Part of the reason why is because we never have a really good college football team here, so it's hard for me to just get excited about other teams from, I just can't get that excited about watching Texas play Clemson. I just don't care.
I 100% agree with you.
It's okay once in a while. It's now that Deuce went to Nebraska and Pete's at Ohio State, I'll watch some of those games, and I do like occasionally watching the Gophers.
Well, Indiana's kind of must-see TV for teams.
Well, in Indiana against Ohio State, my guess is they're on a collision course to play for the Big Ten championship. That should just be a spectacular. It has all the makings for we don't know. It could end up being one-sided.
Well, both will be in the playoffs.
Yes,
and this is 2 years in a row. They signed their coach to an extension, and whatever they're doing with nil money, et cetera, for a team that's never had much success at all in football. It's always been going back to Bob Knight and what he's done with the Indiana Hoosiers and the national championships, and always being ultra competitive in basketball. It's a basketball state, not a football state. And all of a sudden, look at them now.
Vikings lose again. They're now 3-4. Packers win. They're 5-1-1. Detroit's 5-2. The Vikings are in desperate straits. offensive line not getting any healthier. Wentz out for the season now with season-ending shoulder surgery. Should be McCarthy. They're playing in Detroit. We'll talk about that. Also, the Wolves, they lose to Denver last night. Ant out for... We don't know for sure. Originally, they said it was going to be 2 weeks, and it was, maybe a week. And now I don't know if it's day to day. I don't know what the latest is on that. But we'll talk about the Wolves as well. Here on the Common Man program with Common Tenneby and Mark Rosen. Here on the Fan, Tenneby has a keyword, I think.
The Fan and 2 men in a junk truck want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword BILLS at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. The keyword is BILLS. Enter now at KFAN.com. Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Brad, Shaw, and Brian text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
Past, I'm Common. He's Tenneby, the legendary Mark Rosen here as well. Thrilla in Manila. Joe Frazier against Muhammad Ali. That was back when they fought 15 rounders. And between the 14th and 15th round, Eddie Futch, Joe Frazier's handler, threw in the towel, said, I can't let you go back out there, Joe. Joe wanted to go back out. I bring it up because Carson Wentz played with a fractured shoulder socket, torn labrum, and a separated shoulder. He was wearing an apparatus he said he'd never worn before. He said he'd never played through such pain, but I thought I could go and help us win the game. A lot of other people are. Is it just me and some listeners that think this was a little strange continuing to let to Wentz play when he was
No.
He was in that. I mean, he's having season-ending shoulder surgery. He had a torn labrum that
the doctors were aware of.
Yeah.
Obviously since the London game.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I think there's not an easy answer to it. I mean, in terms of coach-player relationship, the doctors getting involved with it, saying you can't, do further damage once you're out there, et cetera, et cetera. But I had tweeted kind of the same thing. I said, look, I've seen boxing matches where guys they've stopped the fight with a lot less pain and anguish. All you had to do was look at his face and the beating he was taking that night. And my point is when you KOC, this is where I find his answers troublesome. The time because you can say, well, Carson's a tough guy and
wants to play,
and the doctor said he can't injure himself any further by going out there. Boy, he couldn't convince me of that. It's like taking a sledgehammer and beating it against your left shoulder. My point is when the Chargers had that game comfortably in hand and they're up by three scores, and at that point it's garbage time. Get him out of there. Put Brosmer in. You don't have to have him try to come back and win the game. You basically just throw 5-yard outs to your running backs or to Jefferson or whatever, and just try to stay out of harm's way. And he's smart enough to be able to do that. And just get Wentz out of there. I mean, it's enough. It's like watching a pitcher, getting shelled, and you're going, well, why don't they just take him out? Well, no, we're going to leave him in there because he's got to work his way through it. It's even not an apt comparison, but the point is, I just when I'm watching that game, I'm thinking, just get Max some reps in there, and you don't have to worry about him getting hurt. You don't have to worry. He's not throwing 50-yard bombs. The game is completely out of reach. Just run the offense for a couple of series and get the game over with.
Yep.
And then you get Carson out of there. It's to me, it was a simple solution, and he took the other road. He just let until obviously the very end, very, very end. To have Carson continue to take that beating out there. And, it's obviously he knew he was going to have surgery. I don't remember, maybe Tana, you do. Was Wentz listed on the injury list before that? They certainly didn't disclose he had a torn labrum.
He was limited or he was questionable. Yes.
But
we knew he was going to start, but
yeah, they didn't really disclose what was going on.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, Common, we can go on and on about this, but here's the problem I have with the Vikings right now more than anything else. I think it's being, I'm saying disguised or not talked about as much because of the quarterback situation. When the Vikings actually did score and Wentz threw a touchdown pass, was it to Addison, to make it 24-10. And I'm watching the game like everybody else, and I'm saying, okay, now it's time for this defense to step up. They're still in the game. We've seen it time and time again in the NFL.
Make a stop. Get
a stop. Get a 3 and out. You got to be going up there. You got to be fired up a little bit more. The Chargers probably will play it pretty close to the vest because they feel they have the game in control. And even though you kind of really don't get what happens, the Chargers get the ball and go right down the field. And I went, this defense is atrocious. And that goes back to me to the Atlanta game when obviously Robinson's a terrific running back, but Atlanta ran the ball at him. The Steelers ran the ball at him. The teams that are just doing the basic fundamentals of beating this defense and time again, to me, is the overriding story. And what the Lions potentially are going to do on Sunday with that 1-2 punch in the backfield, forgetting what Jared Goff can do through the air. But, I mean, if you're Dan Campbell right now and you're looking at that tape and you're going, I got Gibbs and Montgomery, pack a lunch. We're coming at you time and time again. Stop us. Good luck with that. That, to me, is a bigger issue than what's going on with the quarterback situation. Because if the defense was playing up to its potential or what they thought it was going to be with Hargrave and Allen and
the only guy they're missing is Van Ginkel.
Yeah, and he's more of a passer. He's not. I wouldn't call him a run stop. He can certainly tackle.
Yeah, he's a good player, but they're only missing one guy. And that's it. There isn't a defensive unit in the league right now that's not missing at least one defensive guy.
This is who they are, and this is who they've shown us they are, time and time again. And it was they did a good job. The Vikings did a good job of holding down Saquon Barkley, but then their pass defense was giving up, the big chunk plays against him. So it's been one thing or another with this defense pretty much all season long. And that's the biggest fear going forward. Is that, well, J.J. McCarthy is going to have to, go through the trials and tribulations of learning on the job right now and figuring things out. And people are going to judge him, whatever it might be. I really don't think it's going to matter much. I don't know what's going on in that defensive room. If Brian Flores has kind of lost touch with what they wanted to be doing, if they just aren't that good, if Hargrave and Allen have been busts kind of in terms of stopping the run and doing the things they have to do, they don't sack the quarterback very often.
I think they have 3.5 sacks between the two of them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they paid, how much money they pay for these guys this offseason? And the secondary is not as good.
I think with the offensive and defensive linemen, is this number right or am I way off? I mean, total money, I think it's like $300 million.
They spent a ton. And that, to me, and I go back to the Charger game, not that the Vikings would have come back and won, but that's where the defense has to go, okay, guys, the offense did their job. It's up to us now to go in there and stop it. Because the Chargers are playing it, like I said, pretty close to the vest, and they just ran the ball. I don't remember. They were down to their third or fourth running back that night. What? It's not LaDainian Tomlinson running through the line or Barry Sanders in his prime. They couldn't stop him. And I'm going, okay. I don't know how you fix that in practice. I don't think you can, because we've seen a long enough sample size of what they're not doing defensively, both against the run and in critical passing situations. Going back to the DK Metcalf touchdown in Dublin, where Aaron Rodgers threw that ball, beautiful ball, and Metcalf took off and ran away from the secondary. Anyway.
Well,
and then we can discuss the quarterback situation if you want, but I'm just saying that
on the other side of the ball, we have an offense that has not been producing, and much of that is because the offensive line.
Right.
Darisaw has been on a pitch count, and then he didn't play much of the game against the Chargers. O'Neal didn't play at all. O'Neal again. He was out for a game. He came back. He played 2 games ago. He played the entire game. Was it against Philadelphia? And then he didn't play at all against the Chargers. Now McCarthy's back. He had the bad ankle. He's out for 5 weeks. Apparently he should be 100%. But if you'll remember, during his time away, the coach also talked about, O'Connell also talked about trying to just get some of the fundamentals again, getting his eyes and his feet aligned and this and the other thing. So That's why a lot of us have sort of thought maybe this is more than just injury. Because he did not play. He had the great fourth quarter against the Bears in game number 1. The first 3 quarters were not good. He wasn't good at all against Atlanta. And I'm wondering if much is going to change here, especially with an offensive. If O'Neal and Darrisaw aren't in or at 100%, it could be another long day for them.
Yes. I will say this about J.J. McCarthy. I mean, it's really difficult in this day and age where we literally live week to week with, especially the quarterback situation on any given team. And when you got a young quarterback who missed all of last year. And I'm not falling back on it all the time, but it is a critical element when you compare him with the other rookie quarterbacks who played last year and had their ups and downs for the most part, other than Jaden Daniels. This is going to be a work in progress no matter how you look at it. And it's not going to be solved even this week or this season, probably. If J.J. McCarthy, next year, whatever it might be, doesn't end up being a very good quarterback, well, then Kwesi in particular, maybe the head coach will be looking in the mirror going, well, we don't know how to analyze talent.
Yeah.
And that's yet to be determined. And that's the thing that you just don't know, and that's not going to be answered on Sunday. We'll
talk some more Vikings. We'll talk about the Timberwolves other side of the break. One more segment to go. It's Tenneby, Common, and Mark Rosen here on The Fan.
Join Justin Guard this Sunday at Gray's Food Hall for a Purple Watch Party. Come catch the Purple in action against Detroit this Sunday at noon. Enjoy great food and drinks and enter for your shot to win awesome prizes every quarter. Get all the details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Past. I'm Common East Tenneby. Mark Rosen here as well. Your Timberwolves club. What's their record now? Are they 2-2?
Yes.
I think they're 2-2. Season opening victory. Ant 41 points. Since then, Ant has played very little. He has a hammy strain. I can't tell if he's day to day. Originally it was he was going to be out 2 weeks, which would be about 8 games, because during the next 2 week period they had 8 game schedules. Then I think that changed to maybe a week, and now I think might even be day to day. Do you know exactly what they're saying?
I saw, he was wearing like his slippers, like you're wearing before getting ready to go to bed at courtside last night. No idea. It's to me, and I talked to Johnny Athletic yesterday about it. All summer we heard how Ant was working on his new things for his game, mid-range jumper, fill in the blanks, whatever. The best shape of his life. His body fat was down to 0 point whatever. And first game he's listed at one point as questionable with back spasms. I went, okay, and he played, and you just mentioned he had 41 in the opening game. And then he comes back home and he plays 3 minutes of the game the other night. And I think I had it on TV and I was watching it. All of a sudden, Ant's out, gone. Where did he go? And normally Ant disappears for a little bit and he'll inevitably come back and he'll play at a high level. This time he didn't come back. I went, what happened? And they didn't show up. There's no replay of something where he goes, he grabbed his hamstring or did something that looked like he tweaked something. I know it's a rhetorical question. I don't understand how this stuff happens when you have someone who's the prime of his life and his career, and all he does is work out. And he's not the only one, but how they end up having that stuff happens. But, it does. And so he's not alone. I mean, you mentioned it the other night. I mean, Indiana had like 6 players out. This is the 3rd game of the season, and they got so many guys on injured list already. I mean, Jalen Clark didn't play last night, and they missed him defensively. I can tell you that, against Denver and Jamal Murray. They were taking out a lot of frustration, I think, and that they had against the Wolves over the years, especially in the third quarter. It's very entertaining first half. I enjoyed watching some of the new guys got a chance. Jaden McDaniels, I thought, was more aggressive than he certainly has been in quite a while, in the beginning of this season, but even going back to last year, and played at a high level. But Denver was just too good with Murray and the Joker getting a triple-double. But Ant's out for, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because the Lakers come to town tomorrow night. No Luka Doncic, no LeBron, no Anthony Edwards. And that's a nationally televised game. And that's, it's like, oh, boy. The people who are even neutral basketball fans, there's no reason to watch that game if you're a neutral basketball fan and without the three biggest names on respective teams. It's just, and that's the first week of the season. So, they got outscored. The Wolves did 45-29 in the third quarter last night, and their defense was not good. But Jamal Murray was that good. So
after game 2, DiVincenzo basically said there was a lack of effort. Can't fix anything unless we have effort. Head coach said the same thing. This lack of effort, I don't know if
I don't understand
it annoys me, and I don't know. I guess I'm the only one because people like to poke fun on me on the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line. That I'm too worked up about it. I'm too into semantics about the effort stuff. But all I know is when a guy says the effort's not there, I've always said this. This team said this over and over again last year. Almost after every loss, it would always be, well, the other team just tried harder. And it's just like, that's the one thing you can control is effort. You can if you give it 100%, but the other team is better than you tip your cap to them and say, hey, they're just a better club. Because the teams are 1 through 32. One team's going to win it all. They're going to be the best. And after that, I
will say this about last night. I think the other night was worse. I mean, last night, and I've watched Denver play, plenty. Jamal Murray can get that hot hand, and he had a hand in his face on any number of times and was just drilling him. I mean, it was one of those really clean games where he was just on fire. I'm not sure what kind of defense would have stopped him. And Joker was 9 for 10 from the field. The bigger issue I have with the Wolves right now is I don't know how they're going to figure out their guard situation. Rob Dillingham got the chance to play he had his nose busted the other night, and he was wearing a clear plastic thing, and he only played 12 minutes last night. He was 2 for 2 from the field, had a couple of nice assists, but overall really didn't do a whole heck of a lot. DiVincenzo,
he's not a point guard.
Yeah, he can't handle a ball.
He's not a point guard. And let me just interject because I want to see if you have an answer for this. They moved up to the 8th spot to get Dillingham, and I was assuming he was going to be the heir apparent to Conley.
Right.
And that, Mike was going to see fewer and fewer minutes because he's now 38 years old. And Dillingham's nose wasn't broken game 1, and he did not start. He didn't even play.
A second.
Do you know what that's about?
I think Finch said it was kind of the matchup thing more than anything that he put Bones Highland out there, who played some last night as well, played 16 minutes. He was only 1 for 6 from the field. But Conley, I mean, he even talked about it. It's kind of a yo-yo kind of world. He played, he had played 26 minutes last night, which is too many for him. And Dante, and I was really high on getting him along with Randall, who's been, really, obviously, I mean, I think overall been, when Ant's not in there, been their best player. But Dante just, he's 3 for 10 last night. He has those good looks, 3-point shots. He was only 3 for 8 from that range last night. He has to knock down those shots because that's why he's in there. As you said, he's not a ball handler. He's not a guy that's going to run the offense for you. So I don't know how Finch is going to fix that. I mean, I guess he's going to have a combination of Dillingham and Highland coming off the bench. Conley, you can't expect to play more than 15 minutes a night, I don't think. And, he does what Mike Conley can do at this point of his life and his career.
You should be able to get more than 15, shouldn't you?
15 minutes?
Yeah, shouldn't you
maybe 20. He played 20, but I don't. As the wear and tear keeps going on, I don't know if 26 minutes is ideal for Mike Conley. But that's when you're missing Ant. This team relies on him so much, and the other guys just are. Shannon gave you some moments last night. Look at the rest of them. Naz Reid looked better last night than he has in the previous games. I know he had a lot of really personal distress this last year with his sister murder and all the stuff that's going on with that. And I think he's responded coming back home. Looked really good last night. But your guy, the Berenger, and he played in garbage time at the end, and Shannon got a chance to play. So they got some stuff they got to obviously continue to work on in Ant's absence in particular.
See Draymond? Did you see? I'm watching the highlights.
No.
Now. Oh, look at him.
Oh, what's he prancing about?
Well, he dragged a guy down and got teed up. And after the way I just saw it quickly, so I don't know if I saw it right, but it looked like when he dragged the guy down, he tried to act like he was kind of trying to help him stay up. So then they called a technical. He was yelling to the guy who we mugged. Basically, he was telling him to shut up. Then he missed the free throws, and Draymond started laughing at him. So
interesting. And I know we haven't talked about it yet because we were talking about it off air, but I went to the game last night, and I was obviously keeping tabs of the World Series game. It's Game 3, and back and forth. I hadn't seen any of the highlights. They had it on. I saw it briefly. I went, the Wolves game ended. I'll hopefully get home now. I heard it's going to go to extra innings. So I drive home, listen to the game on the radio, and I'm going there. God, I don't want to. Ohtani's going to be up, and he's already been on base. He ended up being on base 9 times last night, right? So, and then they walked him. So I got to rush upstairs, put the TV on. I got to catch the end of this game. Well, I watched basically. I got home that Wolves game was late. Watched those an entire game last night in extra innings, as we all know. You made it through the end. You told me you fell asleep on the couch or whatever, and you did your normal thing.
Yeah, I woke up at 1:00 and I checked the phone. I said, "Well, I wonder how the Chiefs game ended up. I wanted to see how the Wolves game ended up and how the World Series ended up." And I checked all three, and I checked World Series last, and it said the game was still being played. It was in the 17th inning. I said no, and I turned it on, and I watched the last inning and a half. So.
I said to myself, you try to convince yourself, I'm going to stay up for one more inning. That's it. 14th, then the 15th, then the 16th. I went, both teams having chances. I said 17th inning. That's it. I'm out. It's 1:15 in the morning. That means it's like 2:15 in Toronto. Mm-hmm. All those people are up, and then they get their hearts crushed last night. But it was only, again, it's Game 3. How do you recover from that? Freeman hits the home run. Both teams went through every pitcher they had left on their staff, basically. I think Roberts was saying of the Dodgers, they were going to put a everyday player in. They were trying to figure out who was going to go in there. It had a little bit of everything, including Ohtani, who hit the 2 home runs, right?
Yep.
It's on base 9 times. I wonder if they're going to just continue to intensely walk him every single time. They had pitchers
up in the bullpen that were supposed to start the next game. I mean, they didn't know what to do.
And how about Clayton Kershaw getting in the game? Yeah. That was a moment. I did see that. And that was very cool because his idol, Sandy Koufax, 89-year-old Sandy Koufax, I took a picture of, put it online because he's my hero, and he's sitting in the stands still looking like $1 million at 89. And thinking back, it was 60 years ago when Sandy beat the Twins in Game 7 in the afternoon here when he could not throw a curveball. We were just talking about injuries. Mm-hmm. Walter Alston wasn't going to take him out, even though he couldn't throw a curveball because his arm was so bad. Yep. He had to rely on his fastball the entire game, and he still shut the Twins out. Unbelievable.
You had mentioned Ohtani.
Yeah.
No player ever had more extra base hits in a World Series game than Ohtani did last night. 2 homers, 2 doubles in the first 7 innings.
Amazing.
No player in Major League in any Major League game ever reached base more times than Ohtani did when he got walked 5 straight times following his 4-hit barrage. And nobody ever picked up a baseball. And nobody who ever picked up a baseball accomplished a fraction of Ohtani's latest mind-blowing feats at the plate on a night when they really needed to get to bed because they had to pitch the next day.
He's starting tonight. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. Are we watching the greatest player? I mean, we hate to have that argument.
It's hard to argue it just because not only pitching. It's not as though he's like. He's a really good offensive player, and he's an okay pitcher. Or he's a really good pitcher, and he's an okay hitter. He's brilliant at both. It's hard to find. The only comparison would be, when Ruth, mm-hmm. He was a pitcher, and then I
don't think he pitched that long.
I don't think he. Well, I don't think he pitched and then played in the field and then pitched and played in the field. Right. I think he pitched early and then he turned into an everyday player instead.
Yeah, it's obviously different errors and everything that goes on. Sure. But my goodness, I think Toronto needed to find a way to win that game last night. Emotionally, it's going to be really tough to go out there tonight and face Ohtani and try to come back from it. They've done it. And now, again, Springer, I don't know what happened. I saw the replay. He tweaked something in his back and had to go out of the game. And he's a catalyst, as we know. He hit the big 3-run homer to put them in the World Series. But without him in the lineup, that Toronto Blue Jays lose a lot of punch with him gone. So hopefully he can come back.
Someone sent a text message that says, comment only the Vikes and the Wolves. Come on, some Wild. There's not much to say about the Wild right now. They're struggling. Is it tend to be one win in their last 6 or 7, is it?
Something like that, yeah. They started off 2-1, but now they've only won 3 games in the first 10.
Giving up a lot of goals, aren't they?
I don't think they've won a game. I don't think they've won a game in 6-7 games.
6-7 games, just only one game. Yeah, one win in those 6-7 games.
And it's there's nothing pretty about it. They're just they're not.
Some of the time, and they're playing teams that weren't, at least at home, they weren't that impressive. I mean, record-wise, at least early in the season. So it's definitely a bad early season trend when you're looking at the number of goals we're giving up, whether it's goaltending, lack of defense, and et cetera, et cetera. Zuccarello's coming back, right? Isn't that soon? That's at
least he was on the ice today.
That's encouraging.
I think they
need every body they can get.
He was originally scheduled for 6 to 8 weeks, and he's at week 5.
Yeah,
but he's back on the ice today.
Yeah, that's good.
And they need him because they're top 6. With Johansson's had to play in the top 6. I know he scored a couple goals recently, but still, don't want him in your top 6. Tarasenko's been pretty meh so far. They could use Zuccarello, and he can reignite with Kaprizov.
Lovely sports weekend we had.
Yeah,
it was about as dreadful as it could get.
Well, the 2 football teams
that was it.
Rock bottom
they were.
Well, the Loons won last night. What else do you want? They won a playoff game.
They did. I saw that.
I had no idea until last night that they play series
for
playoffs in soccer. I didn't know that.
I know. I didn't either.
Well, for me, it's like it seems like the Loons season never ends. It seems like they play 12 months out of the year. They're always playing. There's some tournament. There's some championship. There's some. Do they ever have time off, or do they play year round? It seems like they play year round.
Do. It starts in March sometimes.
Yeah,
here snow's on the ground.
So they're involved in some.
Well, good luck to them. It's nice to.
Deuce was into it. He watched it last night.
Did he? Good.
He played soccer, so he. And he's a soccer play-by-play guy. He's basically the voice of Lakeville South girls soccer.
Next year we'll be having a lot of soccer talk as the World Cup is here. So, I mean, I saw an interview with Messi. He's going to probably play one more time. The world's best player right now, continues to be. So, I mean, it'll be a big deal here in the country, hosting at a number of sites next year.
And then your Twins club.
I ran into someone from the Twins last night at the Target Center. I said, you guys ever going to name a manager? Or is it you're going to go to spring training and have like just a designated person? Well,
if you remember, a lot of teams will just have it. They'll have an opener.
That's true.
Maybe we'll just have a different manager every game.
Like a rotating captain like the Wild used to do in their first year.
Just let the first base coach manage the club, put the lineup together.
I have an idea.
Okay. Oh, good.
Bring back Sonny Gray. Have him be a player manager.
Player manager. Yeah.
The players respected him.
They loved him, is what they did.
And he'd be on our staff.
Imagine watching that game last night or any of these playoff games, and then you look at the Twins roster. Are they playing the same sport? I mean, it's.
We traded away half our roster.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Half of our mediocre roster.
Yeah, I got Joe Ryan and Lopez and.
That's my favorite is people bragging about the prospect rankings for the Twins. Like, well, they traded away half their team this year. They should be. They should have some prospects.
Yeah. But they got to play and play well. Fun times.
You like this Twins club, don't you? There's not much to like.
No, I mean I can only talk about Walker Jenkins so much, and that's I'm running out of things to say about that team, about that franchise, about ownership. Baseball is going to have they'll end up with a lockout next year. After next year, who knows? So on Sunday, is it going to be sink or sail for the Vikings? I'm not sailing too much. Yeah, I don't think. It's all the talk will be about JJ, and that's fine. It's good. It'll give us a little juice. One thing to talk about. All right, it'll be he's back. Let's keep him healthy. Let's see how he plays. How the Vikings are going to stop Gibbs and Montgomery, and what what they do.
Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Well, I mean, especially
offense,
Gibbs is phenomenal. I so love watching that kid play and run. I don't know how the Vikings are going to possibly stop him. I can see the Lions are putting up 40 on that game. I don't know what Minnesota can possibly do to slow them down, especially in Detroit. Campbell's not going to take any prisoners. He's hell-bent on doing what he has to do. And he said some nice things about McCarthy because he had a good fourth quarter against the Bears. What's he going to say? It's going back to Michigan. That's about the only thing you can say, McCarthy is. But not,
anything can happen, but it...
sure.
It's not... it doesn't look very promising for the Purple this coming Sunday. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
You'll be back tomorrow, right?
I will.
We'll see you then
Wednesday.
And then Deuce is really excited about Spread Swing. He's so excited he might be coming in studio.
Oh, that's right. He had the Chargers.
Not only that, he also had
2 good hits.
He had 2 good hits.
Did he? I had one really good one and one really bad one.
Yeah. Yeah, you had one really bad one. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
I didn't figure.
I haven't even looked at the score. You might be in last by the time we get to Thursday, Rosie.
Could very well.
I don't know. I had one really good one. I picked up a lot of points on. I don't remember who that is.
We'll see you tomorrow at 2.
I'll be here.
Teneby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you. Stick around. Big Ticket JG there next year on The Fan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota! And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.